Chances are by now you've heard of OpenClaw, and you're probably wondering, what does this have to do with crypto? Actually, it has a lot to do with crypto because OpenClaw does everything that you've ever wanted to or dreamed of doing, but you've never had the time to build, or maybe you're not even a coder like me or a programmer like me, yet you can use OpenClaw and the skills that are available to basically create the best crypto analyst that ever existed. And that's exactly why you're on this channel, isn't it? More Coin Bureau or Coin Bureau podcasts, or even just the Coin Bureau parent channel, they're always looking for the best alpha. They're looking for the best projects. They're looking for the best founders, the best teams, all that stuff. And it's hard to keep up. It's hard to keep up with the content flow. It's hard to keep up with the news. It's hard to do all this stuff, especially to focus on what's happening, what's moving, what needs your focus and attention. And this over here, OpenClaw, is what does an amazing job at it. So I'm going to be sharing a relatively simple workflow for you to set up OpenClaw as well. Now, I'm not going to go into the crazy details of this is how you buy a Mac Mini and set it up and all that stuff. I'm going to assume that you have some sort of understanding of how this works, but I will give you some tips and tricks along the way here on More Coin Bureau or Coin Bureau podcast. I'm still trying to get over the new name change because it used to be More Coin Bureau, but that's okay. It's all good. So I'm going to be showing you how to build your own AI crypto research analyst. Basically, a deep dive agent that is always scanning for alpha, that's keeping you in the loop, and it's going to communicate with you and preemptively message you with updates that are happening about the coins that are discussed or the charts that are discussed on the Coin Bureau network or even outside of it. So let's get into it. The problem, like I said before, there's so much alpha out there that it's impossible to stay up to date on. Yes, Coin Bureau has a great Telegram channel. Yes, they have great content that's pushed out all the time, but they're not the only news source out there. I love Coin Bureau. I love making videos for them. I've known Coin Bureau since like 2018. Like, they're a reputable source. It's great. But we have to also understand that there are so many other news outlets and sources that we can grab information from that we should be as well. So the reality is that there's way more alpha out there than any one single person could process. And if they do, it's a dedicated full-time job 24/7. And some of you did this before. Now you won't have to, which is nuts. So this is also, I should say that my bot, Betty, she built this site for me as well for this video for all of you. So this is awesome. So most people just don't do the research. They can't afford to do their due diligence. They just make decisions based on vibes, hype, and half-formed opinions. The traders who consistently win are the ones who do their homework. The problem is doing the homework takes Sandlot style forever. We have so much time that's required to do these deep dives, to look at GitHub repositories, to follow up with the founders, the teams, everything that they're doing, every new update, every new branch, every new everything. There's too much time. And it's in too many places. It's scattered, it's messy, it's information overload to the max. And unfortunately, by the time you finish all of your research, the narrative is most likely shifted. So you're really left in the dust. And this is where using OpenClaw is ridiculous for building out a deep dive AI cooperative assistant. And that's exactly what we're going to be doing today. By the way, the site that I'm sharing with you is actually in the description of this video down below. And best of all, for those of you that are running OpenClaw, you can just give them this website. They can scan it and they can copy all the prompts and all the stuff like that that's included in here as well. So this is a huge asset to you, okay? Let me just keep going through this though. So yes, don't trust, verify, and let AI do the verifying. Okay, so the data sources, this is really, really big. Where is your agent going to be pulling research from? So our agents can simultaneously pull data from GitHub, X, Reddit, YouTube, on-chain, market data, docs, white papers, and also AI synthesis. This is actually the best part because it's going to cross-reference all sources, flagging contradictions, scoring confidence, generates actionable summaries. All doing this while you're even watching this video, which is nuts. Absolutely ridiculous times that we're living in. So how do you get this going? First, you do have to install OpenClaw. Now, there's been a lot of debate about if you really need to buy a Mac Mini. I did. I don't regret it. It's actually the best recommended method. Now, some of you that don't want to spend a lot of money on it, that's okay. And you're tech savvy, get a Raspberry Pi for like $60 and you can run it on that. But the idea of why a dedicated machine works best for OpenClaw is that it's an enclosed environment. Another reason why the Mac Minis just work so well is that they have a lot of great safeguarding mechanisms already built inside of the box. So like it's just going to be running. It's safe. It's contained. Whereas putting it on your computer that you're using for work or for school, not such a great idea. Using an older computer could work if you just want to test this out as well. You don't have to spend a ton of cash to just kind of test this out. But I will say that you don't want to go the VPS, the virtual private server route. Not worth it at all. Again, use an old computer or look on Craigslist, look somewhere that you can find an old, used, or recent-ish Mac Mini, and then spin it up, run it. Now, this is also really, really important. You're going to need an agent framework for these 5 reasons. Your agent remembers your portfolio, your research history, and your preferences across sessions. Your agent's also going to connect to the GitHub API, scraping the web, doing on-chain data, YouTube transcripts, all that fun stuff. It's going to auto-run research updates daily, weekly, or whenever a project you're tracking has news. It's going to spawn specialist sub-agents, which is one of the best parts about using OpenClaw for doing different research tasks. This is the huge part in parallel and actually collaboratively. And it's 100% local. Your research, your API keys, your portfolio data never leaves your machine. So again, there are some install commands here for macOS or for Linux. I'm sorry, not Linux, Windows. Now, everything to get set up, it'll probably take you about 5 minutes, but you should choose your AI model first. Now, there are 2 ways to go. Most people that have signed up are following basically a template that Alex Finn set up or shared like a couple weeks ago, where everyone's just using Claude Max. Now, some of you don't want to shell out the cash for $200 a month for a Claude Max subscription. And I understand that's a lot of money, especially if you can't write it off. It's just a personal expense for a very, very expensive hobby. So there is a free option. But again, I asked Betty to do a comparative analysis between the 2. Just so you know, we're running both. So on my Mac, we are running Claude Max via OA or OAuth instead of API keys. API keys are going to cost way too much money. And as well as Ollama. Ollama is a completely free and local LLM that lives on your computer. So what are the differences between the 2? For one, it can be quite expensive to run Claude Max, and inevitably, you will get rate limited. This is one of the most frustrating things where you're working on a task and all of a sudden, crickets. What happened? You send a message, rate limit exceeded. It's like, oh, okay. And this is why having a local instance works well. So you'll never, ever get rate limited. You'll never run out of tokens because Ollama is running for free on your machine. Now, the quality output is staggering between the 2. Ollama does not really excel at multi-source synthesis. It has a smaller context window and it can't process full transcripts and docs together. It also misses subtle contradictions that better, faster, smarter, more intelligent models catch. Now, I will say that, I agree with this. Claude Max is best for serious researchers who want institutional grade analysis. Ollama is best for getting started, learning the system, privacy first users. I want to say that this is the most expensive, the slowest, and the dumbest that AI will ever be, which is terrifying because it's already pretty fantastic. Again, I gave my bot, I worked with it to develop kind of a script, and it turned that script into this website that's over here. That's not terrifying at all. Like, that's insane to me. So again, there's a couple of options here where you can just have your bot copy this and install Ollama. You'll want to also, I should say before we get into it, and let me just make sure. Yes, okay, good. The next thing you're going to want to do after you install everything is you're actually going to want to talk to your OpenClaw bot. You're going to want to share some information about yourself, your interests, your goals, your purpose for using it, all that stuff. And the most or not the most, the more detailed that you can be as far as providing information about yourself, your goals, your hopes, your dreams, your aspirations, all that stuff. It's not a genie in a bottle, but it's pretty close. The more descriptive that you can be, the better the output will be. It's the same thing as if you were going to Midjourney and say, a cat in a field. It's going to give you so many different variations of so many different kind of cats, so many different kind of fields. Whereas if you were really descriptive about your prompt, the output's going to be much closer to what you want. And this means that you have to do some thinking about this as well. Now, one thing that's really awesome about, again, this free resource is that there is this thing that sets OpenClaw apart from using ChatGPT, from using Claude in a standalone instance. All right, you're creating a super-powered research analyst here, an AI agent with a detailed soul that defines how it thinks, where it looks, how it reports. Now, this soul right here, this is exactly what you're going to give to it. Yes, you want to give it some information, but this soul is going to go crazy in depth. Basically, this is like the MO. All right, this is the mission objective. This is your modus operandi for how this bot is going to run on your machine, okay? The more information you give it and the more you want to mess with this, depending on what you're looking into, you can totally mess with this too. You can actually just copy this, give it to your bot and say, analyze this based off of what I like, based off of what I'm trying to do, what I'm trying to achieve. You look at this, you modify it, you create the soul, I'm going to feed it back to you, and you're going to basically imbue that soul into yourself. I know it sounds kind of weird, but that's exactly what it is. And the great part about all this stuff is that when you open up a new chat window for ChatGPT or Claude or whatever, you're starting fresh. Yes, the AI will start to learn you a little bit, even if you're opening up a new window. But when you're starting to work with OpenClaw, it has no reference of you. And the memory issue can be solved with this prompt, in that it's going to understand what's the purpose of it running, what is it trying to do, and it's going to start thinking creatively and autonomously on ways to impress you, to wow you, to build out this crypto research assistant role that you've given it, which is nuts. Okay. So again, this is really, really, really detailed, and this is great. So how to use this? Once you've deployed your instance and you've hatched your bot on OpenClaw, you're going to tell your agent what to research. So you can tell it things like, do a deep dive on Celestia. Wow, what a bummer of a to choose. But again, it's like whatever. You do deep dive on MYX. Why is MYX dumping right now? Do a deep dive on the newest listings that are on Binance from the last week. Do a deep dive on anything, on Ethereum, on Tron, on BNB, on Sky, which is a new maker revamp, right? You can even ask it questions. What did the Sui founders say on the Coin Bureau podcast versus what actually shipped? Basically cross-reference mode. Compare Arbitrum versus Optimism versus Base. Which layer 2 has the strongest fundamentals? So you can do competitive analysis. Track whale wallets for projects interviewed on the Coin Bureau podcast this month. Ongoing monitoring, which is ridiculous. It's so cool. Red flag scan. Check all projects in my portfolio for warning signs. You can do a portfolio audit. And again, this is just having a research assistant. You're watching lots of content already to learn more about the crypto space, trying to find the most alpha that you possibly can. Now you literally have alpha in a Mac Mini, alpha inside of an OpenClaw bot, which is awesome. So this is what a deep dive could look like, as in like what the output could be. So it's a sample of what your agent produces, but this is obviously condensed for this page. The real output is going to be way more detailed. So like Celestia, research report, it's giving you all this crazy stuff. And the best part is that it's going to give this to you in the format and the place where you want it, whether it's Telegram, whether it's Discord. I use Discord, or it could be even messages. It could be a lot of places. It could be Slack if you want it to. But this is awesome. Like having this just available and then going, okay, I noticed you said the bear case and all this stuff. Can you tell me more about this? And it's going to do the deep dive. It's going to do all of the research. It's going to replace your time on Google. It's going to replace your time on X, because it's going to be looking at all those places for you to synthesize that data to give you those answers that are really helping you. So OpenClaw also does way more than crypto. honestly, this is just a single agent. And the beautiful thing about this is that you can have multiple agents. I actually have multiple agents. Betty is my main bot that I talk to. And I've asked Betty to create multiple agents for us. So I have Bob the builder who actually built this website. I have Steve, my Steve Jobs UI UX designer, who has the color palette in mind. He knows all the branding guides for the better traders for my company. He does all that stuff. Adam for alpha. I have Luke for trading. I have Birdie for social growth. And I have Max for content prep and looking for content ideas, cross-pollination ideas, all that stuff. And I also have Radar, who's also doing a security audit, doing ops, all that fun stuff. And it's nuts because each of them has their own lane, yet they're all working together under the umbrella of the master bot, Betty, which is absolutely crazy. But again, you can have way more agents. You can do way more with this, and you can synthesize all the agents to work together. I mean, you could have a news and sentiment monitor. You could have a market scanner. You could have it connected to your email and your calendar and inbox to help boost productivity. You can help for basically have an agent for content creation, like what I'm doing, researching any topic, not just crypto, home automation. There's a ton of stuff. The crazy thing about this is that yes, you can have crypto research being the starting point, but honestly, OpenClaw will become a real assistant for basically everything and anything that you want it to do, which is a little bit freaky and a little bit scary. I'm not going to lie. Okay, so how do you get this research and this alpha delivered to you? I mentioned a couple of things before. I have a comparative analysis here. Again, I lean more towards Discord, mainly because Discord is a lot easier. You can make basically a free bot. I know it's real fast to use Telegram because you use the bot father and you make a new bot and done. Easy. But the reason why I like Discord is because you can have dedicated channels for posting alpha, updates, analysis, all that stuff. And you can see it tracked instead of having one running chat channel on Telegram, which can be super duper overwhelming. So I very much recommend Discord. It's not hard to do. Literally just ask your bot, how do I set this up? It's nuts. Okay. Now, you have to understand this part too. Remember that AI is your analyst, not your financial advisor. AI research is always going to be a starting point, but you need to verify critical findings for yourself. You're the one that ultimately has to pull the trigger. No AI can predict the future, although you can run models to predict what could be happening next in the future based off of this news or what potential price could be in the next 6 months. You could do that. It will analyze it. But again, it's not going to be a crystal ball. Doing your own research does still apply. Yes, lean heavily on the AI. But it's really easy to just go, oh, this sounds smart. Okay, I'm going to go with it. Trust me. Learn your lessons early on, guys. Again, paper trading is a great way to do this. Actually, look at that. Betty knows me so well. Start paper trading any strategies before committing real capital once you're going to start using this bot. And yes, you can have your bot paper trade for you based off of the analysis, based off of your picks, based off of your watch list, all that stuff. And also, it's super duper important that to know that even if you're going to start paper trading, you need to come up with a trading strategy. You need to come up with some sort of portfolio management strategy as well. So it's not just like, okay, here's some money for a paper trading account, make me money. Like you need to tell it like, what's your risk to reward ratios? What kind of circuit breakers you can have there in case you're making lots of losses. And I know we're going beyond analysts, we're going into trading, but that's my wheelhouse. But the important thing is that AI, again, is your analyst. It's not your advisor. But you should understand that there's nothing wrong with learning how to trade before you automate. Honestly, this is one of the best things because your prompts, or rather your outputs, are only going to be as good as your prompts. And if you have no idea, no concept of trading, no understanding of trading, you're really not going to be able to tell it, okay, make me money effectively. You could point it to some resources, but even so, you're going to be looking at answers like, I think that sounds right. Boy, that looks smart. It did a lot of research. I assume it's okay. You need to understand a bit about trading before you start playing around with the idea of using AI to automate your crypto portfolio. And that's exactly what we teach at the Better Traders. And actually in the description of this video, there are links down here to the Coin Bureau Deals page where you can save 10% on our course, 15 Minutes to Financial Freedom, which is not 50 minutes long, but the course covers everything you need to know and how to get started trading. It comes with a PDF copy of our Better Traders Journal, which has just been revamped, print on demand. But the 5 trading rules in here, just the the workflow of understanding trading psychology, as well as learning some trading strategies and learning how to automate them is fantastic, and it will only help you to become a better trader and work better with your OpenClaw instance. So for all of you that are watching, there is a 10% discount that's already applied once you go to this website down below. So again, I highly recommend you at least entertain this, especially if you've heard about OpenClaw and you're curious about this. There's so many ways to use OpenClaw, but this idea of using it as a dedicated AI crypto research analysis 24/7, I mean, that's an insane prospect. But you have to still do a little bit of your own research. The reality, though, is that this is where the market's heading. This is where analysis is heading. So there's already a lot of good alpha that's already on this channel, that's already on lots of other Coin Bureau videos and stuff. But you're limited. You're just you. Why not just spawn a bunch of agents that can do all the research for you, giving you the information you want? Then you can make your analysis and your decisions after that. Again, point your bot to the site. The link for the website is down below. And before you go, watch this video to learn more about crypto, about trading, and about where I think the market's headed this year. And until the next time, you know what to do. Stay awesome and stay in the green. Peace.